wanted everybody to do only engineering. To become engineer, make money, or become a doctor, make money. So when you narrow the whole understanding of society to only those professions which will make money, naturally it's a very narrow-minded conception of society. Can a society run only with engineers and doctors? What will happen to the rest of society? Imagine a society where everybody becomes engineer and doctor. Who will teach? You don't want your children to be taught? You don't want your children to know the past of your society. We talk of great culture, Kakatiya, this, that. If history is abolished, how will you know? Only doctors and engineers will tell you about the Kakatiya empire. You want Telugu language to grow. Will it grow if you don't have social sciences? If nobody tells you the evolution of Telugu language, how will you know what is happening? So it's a very narrow-minded approach that you only focus on technical disciplines like engineering, medicine, those which will get you immediate money. How will you become journalist, a doctor, engineer? Then there'll be nobody taking interview like here today, no?
So what did ISC do then?
ISC, IHC protested right from the day, and your Andhra History Congress also we have. There is a local body also, Provincial Andhra History Congress, very active body. They protested right from there against this policy. They have always objected to it, protested against it. It's a very narrow-minded, myopic, suicidal policy for a society to wipe out the finer arts, which is sociology, art, painting, all these things, music. Can there be a society without them? Only engineers and doctors. What kind of society will it be? Huh? What will they do in their spare time also? If they want to go and see a movie, there'll be nobody. There's no theatre, no nothing, only engineers and doctors. Yeah. Yeah. It's from the top, no? If you are not, if you are, look at this department here. This department is Department of History and Tourism Management. Why is it so? Because universities were forced. History is useless, it will not get people jobs, so you join it with tourism. This is not correct. Tourism is something separate discipline. I'm sorry. History is separate discipline. History can be of use to somebody who is going into tourism branch. But history cannot be reduced to tourism.
But nomenclature
This is
different.
the basic of history.
Nomenclature is different. They are different two different courses.
Maybe, but to join them, why not join engineering and tourism? You know, what is this? It is ridiculous to join history with tourism. All tourism is related to history. Most tourism, in any case, nothing to do with history. People come not only to see your sites, they come for all kind of other purposes as tourists. You know, this whole notion that tourism and history are connected. We are not tourist guides. Our job as historians is not to train tourist guides. It is debasing our discipline to do that. I'm sorry. This is like you say that the only job in a medical college should be to produce a pharmacist. Huh? But that's where you can make the most money, open a shop and sell medicine. No? Otherwise, medicine is useless. Is it so? So history has to justify itself by promoting tourism. Isn't it ridiculous? No? You have to change it. You have to build a consciousness in society. The parents of the children have to learn that this is not good for them. This is not good for their children, for their grandchildren, for them as a whole. Your politicians have to be taught that this is. Tell them when they go abroad on foreign tours, they should go to the best universities in the world and find out which are the departments over there. Are they only teaching management and engineering in the United States? Which are the best universities over there? Tell me. They are the ones where you have solid social science disciplines, isn't it? And pure science. So we want to be the best. We want to be Vishwaguru. You won't become Vishwaguru with only doing technical disciplines. You can't go on opening more IT colleges, more, Google and Microsoft and everybody, and get more jobs for your children. But what about the other other things in society?
Even political parties,
Yeah, yeah. Everybody.
everybody is seeing but they are
It is partly a result also of their own poor education, because they have not been exposed to, the best disciplines, the way discipline is taught, what is civilization, what is culture, how do you promote it in a society. It's also a lack of exposure, and the whole obsession, as I said, with those which are considered to be useful disciplines, money making disciplines. Like parents will discuss in engineering also which is the best branch for my child, according to which gets the best money. So if there are more real estate projects coming up, those days they'll send the child into civil engineering. If there are more IT projects coming up, they'll say go into IT. They don't ask what is the aptitude of the child. Is the aptitude in IT, aptitude in civil engineering, aptitude in this? No. What does society need? No. Only jobs, money.
when you see the lack of
Yeah. Uh, you have to create the opportunities then. Answer is not there are no opportunities, therefore don't study it. You create the opportunities so that people will take it. You have to create opportunities in society. How, when you set up, how did we promote science in this country during the Nehru period? How many big labs were set up? The CSIR, Council for Scientific and Industrial
industrial
Research.
research.
How many labs does it have in the country? Do you have any idea? A few hundred. So how many thousand jobs would be there for scientists? Simultaneously, in the colleges, you start teaching more science courses, technical courses for people who will train and then they will get jobs in these. So it has to be a process where you are creating that opportunity. Suppose you stop teaching history in schools. School teaching jobs will finish for you. If tomorrow stop teaching Telugu in schools, naturally number of people who will do Telugu in BA will come down because you're no longer teaching Telugu. So when you promote a language, you promote education and you promote jobs. So this is not some rocket science. How do you promote? You create the opportunity in society. You value a thing and the opportunity gets created.
How do you see the present government's
I think they are.
I am from Telangana today, English newspaper.
Acha, okay, you're right.
How do you see the present government, India or BJP governments, a deliberate attempt to make historians pro-Congress activists, or they are anti-BJP activists, or even Maoist kind of urban Naxalites, they say. How do you react to all these narratives?
I think it is very clear they have their own agenda, which we have to be aware of, which we have to know about. And we as professional historians have to be careful that we are not fulfilling somebody else's agenda. We have to be true to our profession. The dictates, the rules, the norms, the ethics of our own profession. So we have to stick to that. We have to stick to facts. We have to stick to evidence. We have to stick to research. Everything we say should be based on properly documented research, not talk in the air, make claims which are not true. Politicians have their own agenda. Our job is not to fulfill the agenda of politicians. Our job is to fulfill the agenda of history. We have to be true and faithful to our history.
How do you see this organization of Ram Mandir inauguration as a government program instead of the temple's its own kind of specific program? Even PM and other ministers, even many people pro BJP, pro RSS people are invited, and others were deliberately neglected.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. That, the whole thing is more of a political agenda. It has very little to do with religion, real religion or faith. And what is wrong about it, it is being made into a state event. The Constitution of India does not allow us to favor any one religion. We have to not discriminate between religions, and we have to show equal respect and favor to all religions. So, and state cannot be associated with any religious, whatever function or whatever as a state. When Prime Minister goes as Prime Minister, he is representing the state. That it goes against the rules of our constitution. If he is going in personal capacity, it's a different thing. Anybody has a right. I have a right to go wherever I want. I may believe in the Ram Mandir. I have every right to. But if I say I'm going as representative of Indian History Congress, it's a different thing. No? So similarly, what we are objecting to is the making of it into a state event, fully promoted by the state as well as the center. That is what is wrong. True. Well, the main thing that the History Congress does is that it provides a platform, an open platform for students, researchers, teachers, college teachers, university teachers, and anybody interested in history to come together and present their work without any restriction. That's why we keep it an open forum. We are not required to submit paper, and then that paper is examined, allowed or not allowed. It's kept at a minimal cost. The registration process is very simple. The cost is very low, and people come from all over the country, and thousands of research papers are presented in this 3-day period. So it provides an opportunity for young students, research students. You don't have to have a PhD to come and present over here. You don't have to work on any particular topic. Like most seminars, workshops will be around a theme. Here we have some thematic panels, but otherwise it's completely open. So idea is people from all over the country, small colleges, big universities, they all have a chance to come. The most important thing it does is provide this open platform to people coming from all over the country at a very reasonable low cost. And secondly, it also gives them an opportunity to come into touch with the best scholarship in the field in the country. So always historians with a lot of experience, knowledge, fame, well recognized, they are invited here to preside over the Congress, to preside over different sections. There are some, by now I think we have 6 at least or more sections. Each section has a president where a fully research paper is presented by that person, a section address which talks about all the field in that area. And then we have the specialized sessions in which also 15-20 more papers are presented. And there is as you can see, this is an open forum. People are sitting here, we are sitting here, somebody sitting there. From different parts of the country, people have come, students have come, teachers, they meet each other. They can go and sit with them, talk to them, discuss with them. Just now a young student came here and wanted to discuss his research proposal. So, that's the way. And also it follows certain standards. It has publications. Your papers if they are a certain standard, they will be published. Next year, you will get the. So one is a what is called Proceedings of the Indian History Congress. It's a big volume like this, which comes out every year with all the selected papers. Large number of papers are. Then prizes are also given. Then Indian History Congress also brings out other publications. Like it has a. There is a big project on the comprehensive history of India, which has been going on for a long time, in which already many volumes have come out and more are still coming out. Then it also brings out specialized selections from its papers, selections from its. So if you go to the History Congress stall over there, you will see how it also goes on producing large number of publications at very low cost for students. Thank certificates that they have submitted a paper which they can go back and submit to their college, and they are recognized as publications which can be taken on board for promotions and get. I was asking to tell you about the Comprehensive History of India project. It's a very big project.
So the idea was to put together the best works that are done in the country. As you are aware that the history that is fed to the people, as you said in the beginning, through WhatsApp and through all kinds of rumors, is basically lies, imagination, and political propaganda. It has got nothing to do with history. So when you said why should students do history, the first reason why they should do it is so that they do not become victims of political propaganda. You see, that this is what the Muslims did, this is what that one has done, etc., etc. So basically you become fools. You do not become responsible citizens of a country. To become a citizen of a country, you must understand issues. If you don't know history, then you don't understand issues. Precisely. You need to know the truth. No? So, but if you don't study, how do you know the truth? If history is not taught, how do you know the truth? Your prime minister will tell you the truth. That this is what happened. Lord Ganesha did plastic surgery. After all, that is what has been told to your students. Is it not? Yesterday I quoted. The governor of Bengal said Arjuna had a nuclear tipped arrow. No, you want your students to learn this kind of, idiotic things. No? This is not it. We want to be proud of our actual achievements, which are amazing. You know, the very fact that India is a country which is so diverse, which has every religion, more languages than 20 times more languages than Europe, and yet we have one nation. Why is it so? These are the questions that one needs to ask from history. And educated people, as one of you asked, that why is it not being done? If your prime minister is somebody like Jawaharlal, who is highly educated, naturally he will privilege history, no? But if you have a bunch of people who are in political command, who do not know any discipline, they give it no value. And the result is you produce a society of people who are only going there to vote, without application of mind. The IHC is the only organization of professional historians. It is the largest organization. It was set up during the national movement. You remember that in the 1930s to combat colonial, because at that time the books were colonial textbooks. The first line in the book was Angrezi Raj ki barkatein, which means the benefits of British rule. That is the textbooks your parents and grandparents used to read. So that is why the History Congress came up in the 1930s, to say that we will promote scientific, secular, and anti-imperialist history. And at the moment, this is what the Indian History Congress does. Scientific, which means it must be based on truth, evidence, data, not imagination, not faith. I believe that Ram was born in that corner, or that somebody else is a human being. You decide that particular mythological figure suddenly becomes a human being, etc. This is, as I said, mumbo jumbo. Now, mumbo jumbo should not be there in history. And the Indian History Congress's job is to do that. to study seriously your ancient past, your medieval past, your modern past, and discover the good things about your society, as well as what was evil. Now, as you know, that currently many of the books were banned because they talked about Dalit oppression in ancient India. The current regime, the BJP, had actually banned the textbooks written by Professor R.S. Sharma, one of the greatest ancient history historians of ancient India, who talked about slavery, in ancient India via the oppression of the Dalits. They said, no, 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 this ruins the pride of the Indian, it is anti-Indian, and they removed those.
Why should children be told about it?
Now, this is not history. This means in Germany you will not study about the massacre of the Jews. Is that how history is written? Does any civilized country teach its history in which it doesn't teach what has gone wrong? If you don't teach what has gone wrong, how will you promote something which is right?
Mm.
That is why in authoritarian societies, dictatorial societies, the disciplines of social sciences are not encouraged. In China, the entire ruling class is engineers. Remember that. And you produce a society like that. We don't want a society like that. We don't want a ruling class of only engineers, who fund this kind of mumbo jumbo about social reality.
Well, I said yesterday also in my address that this is a historic place, and the capital of the Kakatiya Empire. So it's a real privilege, and very for a history congress to be in this kind of historic place where history is all around you. I mean, the architectural remains, for example, the treasures which you have right in this town, Thousand Pillar Temple, the fort, other things, and your Ramappa temple nearby, and the whole region, it is alive with the history. So also it makes you aware of the fact that history is not something that is remote, far away. It's there. It's right next to you. It's still there. People are and how it has shaped the consciousness of the people. Now, I think like even the setting up of the state of Telangana, it's a kind of one more step in the evolution of the regional identity, which goes back to the Kakatiya period at least. So you can feel the history as a live thing, being in a historic place like that. So it's very inspiring. Actually, we have been here at least twice in the past. First time we came in 1974, and then we had seen the whole place. We came to see all this whole area only. Then again we came in 84, and again we traveled very extensively in this part. We were here for at least 15-20 days. We were in this region only, so we went everywhere. And now we have come back after a long gap. So now we will continue to come back
In
soon.
the 80s, we came to interview people who participated in the Telangana movement, who participated in the peasant movement, to write the history of this area on the basis of actual verbal, oral history of because it's a new way of writing history that is not only on the basis of the records, because the records are written by policemen and officials. So
In
the
fact,
people's history you cannot write without talking to the people. So that is
just
why
to
we
show you how things can, I mean, history can come alive, our own history. Just as we are sitting here, Professor P. Ramesh, who teaches history in Osmania University, he came up and he said, you came to my village in 1984 and I remember you.
I was the eighth
Imagine
class
somebody, I don't remember, this is Kadavendi village. And he remembers
that we came. He said, I can recognize your face also, and how, and you came. I was an 8th class student. I was following you people with for 4 or 5 hours. You were there, you were interviewing so and so. Yes, so and so came with you, so and so came with you. He remembers everything. And imagine he saw us here and he came. So how it is all connected, you know. It is not dead, that part, you know. It's so meaningful.
In '93 also you have participated in Indonesian Congress.
No, we did not come here. That year we did not. I don't know why, but sometimes we usually go, but every year it sometimes something happens. But 93 we did come here, but Hyderabad we have been number of times. We have had Indian History Congress in.
We are going through your book India Struggle for Independence.
Yes.
That is referred by when Vajiram and Ravi organization in Delhi.
Okay.
Civil service aspects.
Right.
I am also running an IAS academy here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that I am suggesting the aspirants to purchase your book.
I see.
Again and again.
I see.
Because number of questions are appearing in civil service news.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what I used to do.
So you went on your way. Thank you.